Okay, I think we're rolling with the recording now. This is take two. I recorded several minutes already into the second, or pardon me, into the first take, and my mic was muted the whole time. So awesome, take two. Um, Anyways, what's going on? I pretty much haven't actually made one of these rambles in over 2 years. Let me check actually the last time I made video. I actually was looking at it earlier today, 2 years ago. When was it? April 18th, 2018. So yeah, it was over 2 years ago. 2 years and 2.25 years ago, I guess, was my last ramble. So reason I kind of wanted to do another one and maybe even get a little bit more consistent with this in the future is basically because I've kind of been inspired by a lot of other people around me making similar rambles, just based on their goals. Everyone's been super motivated around me recently too, and it helps me work towards my goals. So a couple other people who've done similar rambles recently. Dave or Skilling Stream, he has obviously been, starting up his channel, doing a bunch of quite daily but almost very, very frequent rambles on his new hardcore that he's working on. There's Sebe as well, another one of my boys from Olympus, who's just a clue Andy, but his rambles are awesome. They're just really, really fun, really inspiring. He's a knowledgeable guy about the game too. And one of my friends, good friends, Jukebox Romeo too, just started making a ramble series, I guess, for his Ironman and for some of his goals to talk about too. So a couple other people. I guess JCW too is the first combat 3 account to get 200 mil all. He's made a couple rambles recently too. So anyways, just a couple other people around me basically that have started doing these, and they've motivated me to come out of the woodworks after 2 years and make another one. So I'm excited anyways to talk a little bit. I made a couple notes, just what I wanted to talk about today basically, and just kind of give you a little bit of an update and what's changed with me, what's changed with my play style, some of my goals, and just things that have happened really since in the 2 years since really I've spoken. And it's not really speaking to my YouTube audience, because I don't really have a huge following or anything like that, but it's just kind of for me, for the people who know me, and I've kept in contact with too. So anyways, I guess I'll start off just kind of talking about what's been going on with me in real life. I actually graduated school in December. I had my last class that finished up in December, so I graduated, and it's been an interesting transition. There's like playing RuneScape while you're in school is definitely one thing, and you have your time. You can play a little bit like on campus. You usually have a little bit more free time, even though I was working multiple jobs and things like that while I was in school. But yeah, you definitely have more free time, I would say, in general, compared to different stages in your life. But so things have changed definitely a lot. Year prior to that, I actually moved in with my girlfriend too, which is another pretty big change. I mean, we've been dating for a long time, coming up on 7 years, but it's still a big change, as a huge life transition for anyone. And it took a little while to get used to, I think, but it was a really easy transition for me, just based on the fact that having done like a long distance relationship before that, it was a pretty easy transition, I think, moving in together, because whenever we were in that long distance like situation, we'd like visit each other. It was like we were living together for that short period of time anyways. So it wasn't, I don't think, a big transition at all, but at the same time it's more of a permanent thing. The thing for me is I'm a very I wouldn't say a private person, but I like my own space, and I like to have like me time for sure, whether that's just for gaming or just like separate time to relax. So that was one thing I kind of was worried about, moving in with someone else, but I think it went well overall. I kind of, we each found our ways of finding our own things to do, finding out what we were interested in, how to give each other space, time, but also continue to grow our relationship and things like that. So anyways, it went well overall, I think, and I can't complain. So anyways, we're living together now and things are good. Since I finished school, I was looking for a job, and I didn't really know what exactly I was looking for, to be fair. So I was working just at my, I guess, part-time job that I had during school, still while I was looking for full-time work for more of a career job or something similar. And I ended up finding something in March, actually. It was actually my first interview that I had, which was kind of funny. So I lucked out, definitely, and I had a good reference for it. Someone I knew, or someone I worked with, her mom worked at this place, which was definitely useful for anyone else out there. If you ever can make like a connection, a personal connection to a job or an opportunity or something like that, it's an incredible boost. Like, people will take recommendations over pretty much anything. They'll be willing to look over things on resumes. If you have a good reference from someone in a personal factor, people are way more interested in someone who actually has a good reputation with someone in their office already than they actually care about a lot of the other things. Again, as a rule of thumb, there's definitely exceptions to this, but so that was really useful. And I ended up actually getting the job in March. It actually worked out perfectly, because beginning of March was kind of the beginning of the whole COVID pandemic thing, which obviously has affected pretty much everyone. And it worked. The reason it worked out perfectly for me was because I actually got to go on vacation basically the week or 2 weeks prior to actually starting my new job. Just the timing was so fantastic, because I took the vacation. I actually went to Cuba with my girlfriend and her family. There was 6 of us total, and it was a great time. Spent a whole week there, got a little bit of a tan, just hung out. Didn't really play any Escape actually for the week, so I was just on a 0 week, but it was worth it, I think, just for relaxation purposes, just to get away from everything, unplug from like the virtual electronic world kind of that we live in. It was just nice to get away and enjoy life and relaxation. So anyways, when I came back from that, I basically worked 1 more week at my part-time job, and then I started at my new job, my new full-time career job, which is actually working as it's called I guess I'm technically a customer service rep, but it's very more of like a support role. So I work in customer engagement, actually, is my department, and work for a tech company. So essentially, we're supporting end users for our customer site, and it's really interesting. So I work on a lot of different like tech cases and troubleshooting and things like that. So it's really interesting, and not really something I thought I would end up in, but just with my kind of people skills and like for my enjoyment for helping people and talking with people, constantly, it kind of worked well, and it pays well too. And I was happy to have a cool job opportunity right out of the gate. The other reason that it kind of worked out perfectly was because as soon as I got this job, my part-time job, because it was actually, I probably mentioned this actually in my my old Ramble video 2 years ago, but I worked at a sporting retailer part-time while I was in school, and the week after I got the job, my new job at the tuck company, they actually closed because of COVID. So I would have been pretty much out of a job anyways. So at the same time of getting a vacation right before starting a full-time job, getting obviously like a pay increase, a career job, something, all the natural benefits and stuff that comes along with a full-time job. I would have been out a job anyways, had I not found that job, because my old job, even if it was part-time or whatever, closed. So it was really perfect timing in that sense. So I couldn't really ask for more, to be honest. And I'm thankful of the way things worked out. Really fortunate. So yeah, one of the other things I wanted to talk about too is working from home. When I started my new job, I actually had 3 days in our office, and when I worked those 3 days, it was great just for like an introduction to my team, because it's a small team that I work on. So meeting everyone, seeing how everyone works, everyone operates, the dynamic between people on our team, stuff like that was nice. But at the same time, by the Friday, I started on a Tuesday, and then on the Friday we actually did our first working from home day. And from then, since that Friday, at the beginning of March, we have worked from home ever since. So it's been a really strange dynamic. Obviously this is because of COVID. There's not many like jobs that you're able to work 100% remotely. More nowadays for sure, but I wasn't expecting a job that I was going to be able to work remotely. So it's been really interesting actually, and I'll talk a little bit about what I've been able to do, landscape wise and stuff at home. Because there's, I still have a lot of actual work for the job to do, but I'm able to do things on the side, which is nice. Mainly foot pedaling actually, which is what I'm doing now. Usually I don't like to do thieving when I can actually pay attention to the game, but right now just doing Ramble, I kind of want to do something mindless. So yeah, I guess I'll talk a little bit too about some of my goals and what's changed with my account, I guess, over the last little while, or 2 years pretty much. If you ever kind of want to see like a pretty up-to-date, I guess, version of my account, you can feel free to follow my Twitter at @SoloLougly, and I pretty much post all my updates on there. I've always been really active on Twitter, and even though I don't really upload frequent rambles and things like that on YouTube, I pretty much post every single little accomplishment and things like that on my Twitter, as long as it's not completely irrelevant. And yeah, so anyways, basically a lot of things I've been doing over the last little while has been basically focused on my goal of getting top page. So this is my most recent goal, and I'm actually getting really close to getting there. Let me just take a drink. Sorry about that. So my goal that I've I've been working on most recently is getting top page iron. I'm currently ranked 29, so I have four more ranks to go just to get to 25. People I have to pass are Bike Trail, Fajump, who's the other one? I forget there's one other guy in front, and then FFA, and then Smithy is ranked 25 right now. He's a hardcore. He's a little bit burnt, but he just came back to the game actually, so he's making gains kind of at his own pace. So we're happy to have him back. So as soon as I get a little bit more XP, Smithy I think is at about, I want to say 1 bill 540 mil XP. So I'm like just about 40 mil XP behind him. Obviously you can see I'm about to hit 15 or 1.5 bill XP, which is a pretty big milestone. And yeah, I've basically done that all through kind of like I basically created like a 3-month plan back in April when I started this grind. Prior to April, I had a bunch of different stuff going on. There was like a bingo competition that I participated in. So some PVM stuff. So there's a whole bunch of different things that were going on with me. So I really only started this like top page goal in April. It was very beginning of April. So I wanted to make it like 3-month plan. When I calculated it out, how much XP I thought I was going to be able to do per day, what methods I wanted to do, and stuff like that. So one of the things I've set, one of the goals that at least I've set for myself is I started off at 2.5 mil XP a day as a goal minimum, and I've been able to do that for the most part actually. Recently, in the last couple weeks or month even, I upped it to about 3 mil a day, just based on kind of what I was doing. Like my personal goals, my ability to do a little bit more than the 2.5 mil. So I've been aiming for 3 mil XP a day. And obviously I know that's a super DMP mindset. DMP just meaning like fast XP and less care for actual EHP. But I mean that's a little bit more of just me as a player. I'm less EHP oriented and more just like fast XP, see the actual ranks on the real official high scores, and I know that's not crazy macro style, but that's all right. It's definitely just me as a player. I still appreciate people who have a super good EHP rank, and I really respect that because that takes a totally different mindset for sure. When the number goes up slower, but that's just not my play style. I'm definitely a fast XP person, and even though 1.5 bill is still like early on into the game, I think in the grand scheme of like 200 mil, I don't think I'll ever get there myself, but I really enjoy playing at least efficient style that aims towards that. It just happens I'll do like fast XP first. I think my rune crafting at like 13.5, 13.4 is pretty much going to stay there for forever. I put all my lamps into RC, and I do tiers of Gothics and then whatever random XP lamp, like the new Darkmire quest. Sins of the Father gave like 45k XP, so I just put that all in rune crafting. Because I hate rune crafting. I have the pet already, so I really don't see myself doing it anymore in the near future. But anyways, it's slow, and I can talk about that later. But so anyways, being the kind of fast XP person that I am, and obviously having an overall XP goal like top page, I've pretty much been doing a lot of fast skills. I was actually doing Slayer for a very long time. Slayer is probably, aside from farming, like my favorite. Farming is definitely a passive skill, which I love, but um, I think Slayer is definitely like my favorite um, skill in the game, and I think I'll actually do. I want to do another ramble actually, specifically talking about Slayer, the metas um, for Ironman particularly. Maybe compare it to Ujini, compare it to the main game metas. There's been a couple changes recently, mostly to the main game meta, um, but I think it would be a really interesting ramble topic just to talk about Slayer. So, anyways, I won't talk about that too much, but basically with my Slayer, I started doing a bit more Vork because a lot of my Slayer has actually been very, very fast and without doing Vork. Because Ironman meta revolves around Vorkath pretty much. Because you bank so much XP with it, prayer, crafting, cooking, and the main thing for Vorkath is you just make so much GP off of it. I was fortunate with my GP situation back in about a year ago now. It was I think May, roughly April, May of last year. I did revs actually for quite a long time. I think it was like 8 or 10 weeks that I did revenants for, and I made close to about 850 mil. That's just straight GP in like Ironman worth. That's not like 850 mil worth of like rev weapons. That's just like literally 850 mil in supplies of like alcohols. And I haven't finished making all that. Like I still have rune ore that I need to make, and things like that to like finish off the supplies, I guess. But having like basically 850 mil on your account is a huge boost to like a lot of different things. So with Slayer, I never struggled to like buy runes and things like that. I always had GP to spend on that, and it was a little less motivating to do Vorkath. I didn't need to do it, but I started doing it a little bit more in the last little while of Slayer. So the past like 6 mil XP, I've done like 1.5k or close to 2k Vorkath, which has been good, beneficial for my account for sure. So I ended up with 51 mil, pardon me, Slayer at the moment, which is good. I would love to continue Slayer, and I will after my top page goal. Unfortunately, I did stop because it got a lot slower of a skill because I actually hit 200 mil hit points. And once you get 200 mil hit points, your Slayer basically cuts in by 20%. So you get 80% of the previous Slayer XP. Obviously, overall XP, it doesn't really affect your EHP because hit points is 0 time. But yeah, it cut my overall XP gain when I was slaying by 80%. So I was a little bit demotivated to slay after that. Again, this is when I had my top page goal, or which is now. I currently still have it, but yeah, it's just demotivating to not get as much XP as you previously had. So I actually moved on from Slayer for the moment until I finish my top page goal. I've been doing a lot of thieving and fire making. Now, kind of my setup for that initiative is working from home a lot. So one of the things that actually works really well for me to be able to focus on work, so make a decent amount of XP gains, is foot pedaling these gem nights. So while I'm working, I can have the foot pedal, not really focus on it, tap away and kind of work at the same time, which is really good and beneficial for my work career too. So that's been good. I've made a lot of thieving gains. I'm actually really close to 150 mil thieving. It's a little bit ironic actually because the last time I made a ramble, I was at RD Nights thieving, and now I'm just moved on to Gem Nights, which is great. So I'll finish at some point, I think I'll definitely get 200 mil thieving before the end of the year. Just based on doing this, when I'm at work, because that works out so well for me. But the other thing I've been doing as well is consistent farm runs too. So I'm at 97 mil farming too. Like I said, farming, even though it's a passive skill, it's probably my favorite skill in the game. Slayer, like I said, being a close second. But I love it. So I've basically been doing consistent contracts and tree runs every day. Tree runs obviously are super fast XP for the time that it takes to plant them and everything. So I've been doing those during my top page XP goal. I haven't done any herd runs for a while, but herd runs will come after top page just because they're a little bit of a slower thing. And I've just been focused on the fast XP. So I'm excited to hit 100 mil on that. That'll be really, really give me, I think, a huge sense of like accomplishment getting 100 mil. Eventually, I think I want to aim for a top page finish, maybe top 20 in farming, which shouldn't be too bad. I want to say I'm like rank 30-ish right now in farming, which isn't too bad, but I'll keep going on that for sure. It's a consistency thing. As long as you're going every day, you're going to keep progressing in ranks. You're going to keep going up in XP. So yeah. One of the things that helps actually with farming is I did boost a little bit of Bounty Hunter in Bounty Hunter V2, and I got a lot of crystal weapon seeds, which you can actually trade in Prif now for crystal acorns. So basically every other day or every day I do 2 of those, which gives me an extra like 26k farming XP a day, and it's an average of 15 crystal shards, so 26k farming XP and 30 crystal shards a day, which is pretty huge. That's a really, really good passive crystal shard thing for Ironman, because unless you do Prif course or a lot of gauntlet or shard thieving or whatever, a couple different, I guess Volcano a little bit, but just the Prif Dinas methods, really, you really don't get a ton of shards, and I do plan to do Volcanic Mine further on in the game, and 2-tick fishing, mostly for the pets of those 2 methods, but also because I think I would really enjoy them as skills too, so I'll need a lot of shards for those basically, so that's this passive shard thing with the crystal saplings is pretty huge for me. So the last thing I've been doing is doing a lot of fire making actually. So fire making obviously is, aside from Slayer, if you have max gear already, but on most Ironman accounts, fire making is probably the fastest skill. So I've been doing that. 89 mil right now. I probably will get close to 100 mil soon. I still don't have the Phoenix actually, which is interesting. I'm getting close to 3k Wintertodt KC, like 2.8, maybe close 2.9k KC right now. So hopefully I get the Phoenix pet soonish, but I'm not super fussed. It's kind of just more motivation to do the content, do Wintertodt, even though it's super fast. So that's been really helpful. One of the things I started doing with it too actually is world hopping method, which is where you hop between the 4 Wintertodt worlds, the themed worlds, which is I guess 307, 309, 311, and 389. So you hop between those 4, and when your game ends, you scout out on an alt another world that is at like roughly 60% or higher, to where you can get 500 points by fletching and still make the make the 500 points before the game ends in that world. Then you hop over to another world that's close around 60%, and you get 500 points on that world get the fat 10k XP drop at the end of the round, and then hop worlds again. It's close to, or actually more than 400k an hour fire making, which is huge. Obviously on the main you can get like 500k plus doing just redwood logs, but we don't really have access to that as an Ironman. So doing the Wintertodt world hopping method is actually pretty huge. It's also the best or fastest method for the Phoenix, which is sweet. So it gives me kind of more of a faster like pet hunt, I guess. Even though I'm dry on it now, but so yeah. Anyways, that's been fun actually to do that. I really enjoy doing some like alt scouting methods and things like that. It just makes it a little bit more engaging content, because one world Wintertodt is just totally brain dead, like autopilot zombie brain. So it makes it a little bit funner, I think, to do certain methods like that, and especially since it's efficient. So yeah, quite nice actually. That's been really fun. So doing a combination of those skills that I just talked about, aiming for like 3 mil XP a day, it's been good actually. I've had quite a lot of success with it, I think. So with my top page goal, like I said, Smithy is about 40 mil ahead of me. I'm just gonna go to the bank and show you kind of what my plan is. Recently I actually got one, just because you can see like my render distance is pretty huge. I actually got a GPU. I've obviously been making a little bit more money with my career job, which has been awesome. I bought a GPU for my computer, so I actually have a really good kind of system now, as opposed to I had an integrated GPU, integrated graphics actually. With my CPU before, it was pretty shit. I couldn't really use GPU mode or anything like that on Ridnight. So it was, there's a couple of downsides to that for sure, or I guess benefits now that I can use GPU mode, so which is pretty cool. So what I wanted to show you is some of the banked XP I have actually. Let me just take it all out actually. The prayer and the grapes. So that's basically what I have in banked XP. Oops. Let me just chisel here. I'll talk about this. So pretty much with this banked XP, my plan is to launch that to kind of finish off top page. Like I said, I'm about 40 mil away from Smithy right now for top page. So the plan is to basically finish up 1500, not 1500 rather, 1.5 bill, and then start right away using this banked XP. It's about 40 mil, 43 mil actually banked XP here, and it's about 5 mil prayer, 18 mil construction with the planks I have here, and then this is 20 mil cooking XP with the grapes and the wines, which is like awesome. I'm so excited to use this bank XP, man, because the construction is like super fast. Like my hogs are like 940k an hour, prayer is like a mil plus, and then grapes are like 500k an hour, I think. So yeah, I'm really excited to just use the banked XP. Especially like grapes are super chill, 14x14 skill, while still getting like max rates pretty much. So I'm really excited to use that. So pretty much when I get 1.5 bill, the plan is to send all this banked XP, and then that should put me at rank 25, and give me front page, and that'll be my goal. In terms of kind of what happens after that, I think my plan is to, for now at least, I don't mind keeping that front page rank. I don't think it's like a huge thing for me. I don't really mind if I lose it in the future. This top page goal was a little bit more of a bucket list thing for me, to say, hey, yeah, I I was front page, or I did get front page. Realistically, like, with my playstyle and some of my other goals that I have, which I'll talk about in a sec, I don't think I can realistically maintain top page rank forever. So like I said, bucket list thing a little bit for me, so I'll be happy when I finish that. But I still love skilling and things like that, so I can definitely see myself continuing on for XP afterwards. So with that in mind, I have a couple other goals too that I want to do after top page. They're a little bit pertaining to kind of a completionist and pet hunting kind of idea. So I do because I'm kind of in the skilling mindset right now, so I kind of want to go for some of the skilling pets, but some of the skilling pets that have like AFK methods that I can do on the side. I might not do those or leave those for kind of last, so I can do some of the AFK methods when I need, and possibly snag a pet from the AFK methods, like mining, do a little bit of like amethyst if I ever need it, just some heavy AFK, or Karam ones for fishing, because I'm missing those two pets. But I'm excited to do things like the chin pet. I don't have the Chinchompa pet yet, so learning how to do like a efficient hunter at black chins is really interesting to me, because last time I did hunter, or last time I did chins at least, was a long time ago, before people had really mastered like the one tick traps, and before Celastra's bark, and alt shooting chins and stuff like that. So I've never really done a lot of those methods. So I'm excited to like try those out, pretty much go for the chin pet there. But one of the main things that I want to do is I want to do a little bit more PVMing. One of my goals before I started going for top page was get a scythe, and I actually finally got it in April. Pretty much I got my scythe from a duo whip raid. So me and my friend, we both had whips. Neither of us had a scythe, and we decided to kind of send a couple whip duos in top. And we actually got my scythe off of one of them, which was awesome. So I pretty much right after I got my scythe, I actually started going for top page. So I actually haven't had a chance to use my scythe a whole ton yet. I've been like scything Dark Beast tasks and stuff like that, which is probably done with me, but I have so much GP, I don't really care right now, especially if I plan to do Vorkath in the future. So that'll be fun, kind of just to test out, I think, my scythe a little bit more, since I have a lot of GP to blow on blood runes for that. That'll be fun. So I finished top now, so I think that's definitely one of the goals that I'm super happy to have out of the way. But now that I have scythe, it's opened up a lot more content to me to do like efficiently as well. So one of the things that I want to do is go for challenge mode raids, and go for one of the recent updates was the twisted ancestral kits, to recolor basically your ancestral to like a black gray, which is pretty cool. It looks awesome, I think. So I want to go for those. I also don't have the metamorphic dust yet, so I want to get that, the pet metamorphosis for the omelet, because I do have the omelet. So I think that'll be one of my first goals after I get top page. So I'm excited to do that. Mostly probably do like team raids. I'll probably do some solos here and there, but CM, you're really there only for the dust and the twisted kits. It's worse XP per hour, or sorry, it's worse points per hour compared to regular Cox raids. But so yeah, it makes less sense to do like CM solos, just because they're slower than doing it with the team. But I might send a couple for fun, improve with my Chambers solo kind of method, and improve how I do Chambers solo. because there's definitely an improvement. I think my PB right now is just over 20 minutes, so I'd like to get like a sub 20, just for for my own accomplishment, I guess. So that'll be cool. But yeah, CM raids is probably one of the first things I'll do. But yeah, like I said, mainly in the area of going for like a little bit more completionist / pet hunting mindset afterwards. After I get top page, so that'll be interesting. The Ironman pet hunt is actually getting pretty competitive now. There's several people who have like a shit ton of pets and that are like close to, if not 80% completion for pets right now. Banff and Iron Queen, and there's some guy named Master Barter. I don't really know him, but all of them are like upwards of 35 pets. I think Banff got his like 36th or 37th pet recently. So yeah, they're all super close, and I'm nowhere near that. I have like 17 pets, but it's an interesting goal to go for. So, anyways, I think that's pretty much what my plans are, and I've given you guys enough of an insight into that. In the future, what I kind of want to do with these rambles, I mentioned one of the things that I want to talk about is like the Slayer meta and things like that. So I think that is probably going to be my next like topic to talk about. And then I also there's a bunch of cool methods with the Darkmire update, like the Sepulcher, the Hallowed Essence, which I'm not a huge fan of, but honestly mainly just the Sepulcher. But a couple of different like methods and things that I could see myself doing in the future. I'd love to talk about that in some future rambles, but definitely I think the next thing I want to talk about is the Slayer themed one. So let me know if you guys actually would like to see that Slayer oriented thing. Hear me talk about that a little bit. And if you have any other like topics or anything that you think it would be interesting to hear me like ramble about or something, feel free to leave a little comment in the description too, or in the comment section rather. So anyways, I think that's pretty much it for me. It was fun kind of doing this again for, as I said, it's been like 2 years. So yeah, sorry it was a little bit uncoordinated, but I guess that's the nature of a ramble for sure. So anyways, I will catch you guys all in the next one where I'll do a Slayer themed ramble. So love you guys all.